Hello friends. Imagine a world 3000 years ago, where fires burn in villages, chants reverberate, and people ponder the big questions of life and the universe. This was the late Vedic period, from 1000 to 600 BCE, when the cultural and spiritual foundations of India were laid. This is not just any old story. This is the saga of a time when yagna, kings, and philosophy came together to shape a civilization. So, ready? Let's dive into this exciting era, brought to life by Vedic texts and archaeological evidence. 1. What was the later Vedic period? So, what was the post-Vedic period? This was the period from 1000 to 600 BCE, when the Aryans moved from a nomadic, pastoral life to settling in agricultural settlements. As written in the Shatpatha Brahman, historians consider this as a move from tribal life to organized states. During this period, texts like the Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda and later the Brahmans, Aranyakas and Upanishads emerged. These texts not only preserve the yagnas, but also raise deep questions like the truth of the soul and the universe. Geographical extent and settlements. Imagine the Aryans packing up and heading for the Gangetic plains of India. Starting from the Saraswati and Indus valleys, they reached regions like Kurupanchala, modern Delhi and western UP, and then Kosal and Videh. The Shatpatha Brahman mentions the Sadanira river, which is probably the Gandak of today. Archaeological finds, such as painted grey ware pottery, confirm planned villages in these areas. It wasn't just migration, it was cultural mixing with local tribes that enriched Vedic society. Social change, caste system. Now let us turn to society. Earlier in the Vedic period, the Varna system had been flexible, but now the birth-based distinctions between Brahmans, priests, Kshatriyas, warriors, Vaishyas, farmers and traders, and Shudras, laborers, became stricter, as seen in the Yajurveda. Shudras were excluded from education and yagyas, although they remained part of society. The status of women also changed. Earlier women like Lopamudra composed mantras, but now their participation in yagyas decreased. However, scholars like Gargi and Maitreyi discussed philosophy in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This system became the foundation of India's caste system. Yagya and power, the rise of Brahmans. Imagine a village full of yagnas, smoke rising, chants reverberating. Yagnas like Ashwamedha and Rajasuya were not just religious, but also strengthened the power of the king, as written in the Aitareya Brahman. Brahmans, as experts in yagnas, became very influential, sometimes even more so than the king. Sanskaras, the 16 rites from birth to death, structured life. But some people got bored of these complex yagnas and turned to ideas like tapasya, meditation and the unity of Atman Brahman in the Upanishads. The Chandogya Upanishad is an example of this. From tribe to monarchy, political change. Have you ever wondered how kings became so great? Earlier tribal groups like Sabha and Samiti held sway. But now monarchy emerged, and the idea of Rashtra, a defined territory, came, as in the Tattiriya Brahman. Kings divined their power with yagyas, taking on titles like emperor. Kingdoms like Kuru and Panchala became powerful. Archaeological evidence, like fortified villages, confirms this change. But the spiritual influence of the Brahmans often overshadowed that of the king. Economic development, agriculture, iron and trade. The economy also changed significantly. Agriculture now became the basis, especially rice cultivation in the Gangetic plain, as in the Shatpatha Brahman. Iron tools, called Sham Ayas, made forest clearing and cultivation easier. Iron plows and axes have been found in excavations at Hastinapur. Trade grew, barter was common, but early currencies such as the Nishka, gold ornament, and Shatmana emerged. Pottery, black red ware, weaving and metalwork flourished, indicating growing urbanization. Trade began along the river routes. Religion and philosophy, new ideas. Religion also changed. Indra and Agni remained popular, but Prajapati, the creator, Rudra, Proto-Shiva, and Vishnu emerged, as in the Atharva Veda. The biggest change was in philosophy. The Upanishads introduced ideas such as karma, reincarnation and moksha. Questions such as, "Who am I?" echoed in the Mundaka Upanishad. These ideas became the foundation of Vedanta philosophy and later inspired Buddhism and Jainism. Cultural mix, language. This was a period of cultural mixing. Sanskrit became a sophisticated language of religious and philosophical thought, as seen in the Brahman texts. Vedas, mathematics and astronomy were taught in Gurukulas, as indicated in the Shatpatha Brahman. The stories of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata began in oral form. Art, music and stories were enriched by mixing with local cultures. Its legacy. Why does the later Vedic period matter? So, why is the post-Vedic period important today? It laid the foundation of the caste system, religion and Sanatan Dharma. It shaped the political, social and spiritual identity of India. Evidences such as iron tools, pottery and the Upanishads show its influence. This period was not the end of tribal life, but the beginning of the civilization that defines India even today. That's the story of the late Vedic period, the age of sacrifices, kings, and big ideas. What did you like the most? The rise of philosophy, the power of the Brahmans, or the formation of kingdoms? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this walk through history, please like, share, and subscribe.